Hello and welcome to a Saturday vlog. I am going to vlog my day. So on the agenda today, we have bookstore going, which is thrift store going. So I love thrift stores. I think that they're really accessible and useful, and I need to get some artwork and some lampshades and some other like household things for a man in low income who needs some things to make his house look not so bare bones. So I'm going to a thrift store and there will be books, so I will probably look at some of those books and maybe buy some of those books. And then for reading today, I have Jhumpa Lahiri's Interpreter of Melodies. I'm going to be reading the second story, Mr. Peraza, and I am super, super excited to read this. I have read about half of it already. I am buddy reading with Monica from Dog-Eared Musings, and it's really, really lovely. We've already discussed the first one, so I'm really, really excited to discuss it with her and to read it. I'm always great at filming in the car, but my attempt is going to be to hold it with that hand so that I can do it with this one. I was not very successful. There was not a lot of lamps and there was no pictures that were bright. I had a few that I was like, I would get those. The thrift stores are closed for Saturday. I'm gonna have to go out and adventure again. How dare I? The one that I wanted to go today but was closed is a furniture store specifically for low-income families, so I really hope that that one is when I'm going to get it. But it was really good because I was able to get some books and I also got some clothes for myself. So first of all, I had Tanya Talega Split Tooth. This is a rebuy, I believe. I bought the Split Tooth, the other copy, a few months ago, but I really, really like the black cover. I always have. And I figured I can just give it away to a little free diverse library. Both of them I think I bought for $2, so I don't feel bad rebuying it. Little Brother by Cory Doctorow. I've heard really, really good stuff about his work, especially this book, so I'm really, really excited to read it. I think he's Canadian. I have A Gathering of Shadows. This is the second book in Darker Shade of Magic. I have read the first two of this book and never finished the finale, but again, it was incredibly cheap and I was like, this is the one. I have been thinking that I might reread the last one. I do enjoy it. At the time I can be more critical because I don't think B.E. Schwab ever like lives up to my highest degree of want, but her stories are really, really clever and I enjoy this series. So if I'm gonna find it cheap somewhere, I will definitely buy it. And then this one, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it or hand it on because actually in general, if anyone knows like fantasy books or books for like 5 to 8-year-olds, I have a fair amount of people in my church who've been like asking me for books and I'm like, I don't really know anything for that era. Like I can tell you some like beautiful picture books, I can tell you some like middle grade books, but I really, really don't know any books that are between this. So I think this is a middle grade, but I feel like it could be a younger middle grade. So it's a book that I'm going to read and then be like, maybe they'll like it because I think it's middle grade. I'm not just going to give it to a 6-year-old's mom and be like, read it to your child. But they had read like several books and were like, we want to read more with our kids. And I was like, yes, please come to me. I was so, so happy to get Station 11 because I saw it at the other thrift store and I don't know why the Kitchener Public Library has like discounted a lot of books, especially this book that's very popular. Maybe they just got like nicer, newer covers. But this one, I was like, should I get it? I love this book, but it's not a great copy. It has the like, you know, old thing where it has it's a hardcover, so it has like the really bad plastic on it that's probably gonna, I don't like hardcovers. I find them very heavy and I just don't like it and it just didn't look like in good shape and I was like, okay. And then I got this one, which is like floppy soft covers are like my favorite thing in the world. I have the Glass Castle and pretty much the exact same thing. It might be slightly bigger, but I really love both of these books and I'm really, really glad that I own both of them now. My advice in general is just wait on the thrift stores. You know, I read Gathering of Shadows 4 years ago. I read that one 2 years ago. Eventually they'll come into your collection. Until then, there's a library. And then this one is one that I've been waiting for a really long time. I've never seen this one, but If on a Winter Night's a Traveler. I've heard really, really good things about it. I've heard it is really, really good, really fantastic, and I can't wait to read it. I really, really like this white cover. I don't know if I feel like this book, but like the rest of it, the writing and the simplisticness of it, I really like. And then this one, I was really excited to see The Chaos of Stars by Kiersten White. Kiersten White is one of my favorite authors. I really, really enjoy her work and I've never gone back and read this book, but I think that this one is very nice and she has my own name too. So my full name is Kiersten, so whenever I saw her, I was like, yes, please. And then those are the books that I have. Let me see if I'm gonna show you some of the clothes. I feel like this is not the easiest way to do it, but you'll see them in videos. So I bought this beautiful green shirt, which I really, really like. You can't see anything stylish about it, but I really, really like green. I really like that it's knit and it has kind of like that kind of neckline. So I think that I can wear it with a skirt that I also bought because it was on the discount rack and I was like, yes. And then this one is kind of red. I feel like it's not being shown to its best. It's kind of this and it's plaid and has like a little bust at the bottom where it wraps and stuff. I've always wanted like a jean top and I really like it. 1 second before I cashed out, I saw this and I was like, It is a vest. I've always wanted one of these like dark academia vests. One of the reasons why I knew I needed something plain is because I got orange pants and they make me so happy. I feel like I'm slowly becoming the business casual woman that I want to be. This one I bought in an antique shop 2 years ago and I was like, should I buy this random shirt in an antique shop? And I was like, yes. That is my style guide for today. Maybe I don't think I'll be adventurous enough to try on the clothes on camera, but you know, who knows? Because of the sun, I either lose this part of my head or I can't see it all. So this is the fun thing. It is now Sunday after church. It was really, really great. I was in the kids' room. There's nothing quite like managing children that are 2 and are kind of very, very afraid of everyone because they were born during COVID, and like 7-year-olds who just want to like, you know, debate the tooth fairy and what their tooth fairy does. And you're like, do these kids believe in tooth fairies? Okay, yes, they do. Yes, we'll talk about tooth fairies. And now I am home. I'm gonna do some reading. I didn't end up reading Mr. Peraza last night. I was like looking it over and I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend some time and like really go through it and analyze it. And I finished Babel earlier this week and I've started Fevered Stars. So yeah, that was just, I'm feeling fantasy, which is super, super fun. Like fantasy and also deconstruction, it's gonna be great. And then last night I had a sad and very fun moment because I finished Young Justice. So Young Justice was canceled way back in the day and then was brought back. And currently, because of everything that's going on with DC stuff, it has not been renewed. It hasn't been said that it's canceled, but it hasn't been renewed because of internal strife. So I'm really hoping, you know, it will be saved once again and we'll get a season 5, maybe with a little bit bigger of a budget. But I really love Young Justice. It's one of my favorite shows. I think the first season is like peak, but the other seasons are all just really good as well. I love ensemble characters. I love fantasy. I love the fact that the world seems so big, so interconnected in every part you don't see. And yeah, it's a master in storytelling, and I just really wanted to go home and read comics. Like, I'm in the midst of things, so I can't read comics, but I kind of just want to read comics, especially Batman comics. They're always what make me happy. And it's funny because I don't really, outside of the animated universe, like if I'm talking about movies, like maybe I'll watch Robert Pattinson's Batman today because I went to watch it in theaters, and then my friend had a pet who died and like called us and was like, can you come? So I was like, yes, yes, yes. So we ended up not going to the theater that night. So I've never seen it, and I'm hoping that it will be the one because so far I've never watched a live action Batman that I've liked. And I think that's because Dick Grayson is my favorite character. Nightwing is awesome, and when I never see him and I never see the family aspect, I never see the character growth, I don't see the interconnected world. Like, I have never seen a Batman movie where Batman is in a world. Like, the most we really see is like, Superman, destruction. But like, we don't get to see them as friends. We get them see being grimy and I hate the world and grimdark, and that's not my comics. Like, I love dark worlds. Like, I love exploring dark themes. I always have, but you need hope and you need like joy in there, and also just connection and humor. Like, you know, it can be the world's ending and also, you know, there's some fun times as well. Now November 7th, I believe it's a Monday, and I'm really, really excited. It has been a productive weekend. I have finished some books, I read some books, and I've done some writing. I did a fair bit of writing last night. Was it on all of my goals? No. I'm like a little bird that just flutters around and is like, this is the book that I want to work on. I'm like, I don't know if I've worked on this book in 3 years. And this is the focus thing that I have. Like, if I just took all of my writing and took it to one project, that project would be massive because several of my books are, you know, like 20 or 50,000 words. And it's like, if I could just put all of these in one place, it would be a better place. But alas, that is not the human I am. And I read The Underground Railroad, and it is a really, really good book that looks at early Black Canadians and their stories in Toronto and around the world. And I really just enjoy reading it. It allows me to know so much more that I didn't know about Canada and the ways in which, like, you know, our history is not complete in that. I really like the style. It's just like, this is a person's story, and these are like 5 lines about it. And I don't know, I like it because it takes time to listen to them. But like, it's just like a cursory overload because we don't know a lot of things about a lot of these people, so we can't talk about it a long time. But I don't know, I find it really fascinating, and I have like a whole list of people I need to look up now. Outfit 3 for the day. I really like this outfit. Makes me fancy. We got some lamps, so finally, and look what I found for $1. It says 2, but it was half off, so it was $1. This is one of my favorite books of the year. I know it was controversial in regards to the Booker Prize, but I actually really, really liked it and was really sad to see it not go forward. And then I have this one, which was an Evelyn Waugh book that also I saw it last time I was here and I was like, oh, do I get it, do I not? And I looked it up and I really liked the plot. I can't remember. I think it's like, you know, it's all social criticism and stuff. I got Of Mice and Men, which I was excited to see as well. I feel like I feel slightly rattled because I got propositioned and there's nothing quite like sitting there waiting for a store to open because you're like, okay, and then reading and then to be like, you're a pretty girl. I like pretty girls. I found this completely pristine version of Lord of the Flies and I had to get it. I have very controversial thoughts. I wrote a project for it for my grade 10 English class and I love to hate on it because I really enjoyed it, but I also don't agree with it. Anyways, I was never planning on getting like a good like copy, but I found this one and it's in perfect condition. So now I can add it to my collection if I ever need to talk about it or anything like that, which is nice. You always like really brighten up a room when you find art, so I'm really glad I found this and that it works. I'm really hoping it doesn't fall off the wall. So this has been a little bit of a non-weekend vlog since it's been over a week now, but I did have a really lovely time reading Sonnets of the Portuguese. I really enjoyed the poems that I found there. I really enjoyed Jumbalahiri's work. I'm fascinated by her writing style. It is so evocative and wonderful and has such great prose, and her descriptions and her ability to weave herself into the narrative, her characters, is beautiful and evocative, and I don't know, I can say every fancy word in the world, and it was great. I'm sure I also did lots of other things this week that I'm not remembering to wrap up, but it was a really lovely time, and I'm really glad that you joined me. I had a great time buying some books. I had a great time buying some lampshades and artwork and all of that stuff and being able to make a place be a little bit more sprucey, which was great. And yeah, I hope that you have a great week, and it is snowing now and I have to go out into the snow. So great advice, don't wear open shoes on the day that it snows. And you know, this is the day to wear a skirt and a nice dress to church, right? Right. It is snowing so much and I'm glad that it's snowing. For some, it smells like snow.